Hey guys, and welcome to Faewood. So now I'm going to be doing some of the embellishments for the corset. This is just the start. I'm adding the lace. I painted some lace in a really nice bronzy tone to go onto the corset. I'm really happy with the colour. The bottom part of the lace was pretty straightforward, and I firstly tacked the stitching on to attach this. I worked out the middle of the lace because I only had a certain amount, and then tacked along the bottom so that it was kind of in place, and then went along and tacked the top side of the lace as well once that was in place, because I wanted the bottom edge to be nicely in line with everything. Now with the eyelets or grommets, however you like to call them, I did have to trim a little bit of the lace away from the hole. I'm stitching it over the top here, but then I cut just a little circle out so that I could still lace it up. This took a really long time, so you're only seeing a tiny glimpse of the very long multitude of stitches that I did to put this lace on. It was actually on a day where the power went out, which you'll see when that happened in a minute, and then it was snowing up the road, so it was a really bloody cold day. Great time for the power to go out. We get a lot of trees fall down at our place, so the power goes out quite regularly. Now, I had a lot of trouble with the lace at the boobage area. It's quite three-dimensional, obviously, the corset, and then trying to attach lace was a new challenge for me because I'm used to doing embroidery beadwork where things are flat. So I tried to glue things and I made a big fat mess, and I, at this point, was stress sweating. And this is right before shit hit the fan or the fan turned off. I spent the rest of the day cuddled up with as many layers as I could possibly fit on and by a window because I had no light, and I stitched the rest of the bottom of the corset. So the glue kind of didn't work great. I made a bit of a mess, and I ended up going with pins in the end, and I would recommend, look, just go with pins. They are a bit tricky when you're trying to stitch around because they kept getting caught on the thread, but at least you can move the pins around, whereas glue, unless you're really, really careful, and this was a bit of a tricky piece of lace to glue down, you can just get a bit of a mess happening. So yeah, pins I would say was the best way to go. Excuse the lighting, guys. I feel like I've got interrogation lights at me. It's getting dark, and this room isn't the best at night at being lit up because the lights are kind of in strange places. But I've got my photography lights on, but I also have a big table here, and it's a little bit hard when you're doing something to move them around properly and properly light yourself. So I'm actually standing right near the door because I've got tables just there. Anyway, I just thought I'd do a quick little interjection here of what I'm doing. I've finished the neck corset, well, finished the base of it. There's armor parts that are part of the pattern. I probably won't use those. I don't know how I'm going to be embellishing it yet. I have some ideas, but I'm still sort of working through that. That'll be a separate video because that's a whole nother adventure. But I thought I would share this, which is just the bracer. So let me get the picture. So in here you can see she wears a bracer as well as the neck corset. Now in the in this one, the brace is the same colour as like the corset and skirt and everything. I decided not to do that. I kind of liked the idea of doing that in the same material as the neck corset. And I've got plenty of that material left as well. Plus, I just think it's really cool material. So like, and a bracer kind of looks like armour. So to me, made sense to keep that the same. So, so far all I've done is cut 2 pieces out, sewn right sides together like it said to do. I did already cut the holes out. It didn't say to do that, but like once I turn it inside out, the markings aren't going to be visible anymore. So hopefully I don't regret that decision. But there's not much to the bracer anyway. Like I've just got to like make some boning channels and then put like this has armor decorations on it as well. Again, probably not going to do that. Yeah, I like it. It looks cool and everything, but I'm sort of wanting to take it in a different direction. So which I'm not going to get into again. That's a whole other adventure. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to make the bracer, put the little eyelet grommet things in, put a lace up thing. I was going to put the neck corset on and show you what it looks like. But like, you know, when it's done up and everything, but it's kind of a two-man job. The lace ups at the back, I tried to get in it and do some sort of half lace up situation, but it didn't really work out. And then I became really claustrophobic because I couldn't get it off myself. Well, I had to get it off myself, but like, it's hard to get off when you're trying to pull the stuff. Anyway. That will, I don't know, maybe I'll insert something with me wearing it when I can film it. I'll get my husband to help me put it on, and so I can at least show you guys what this leg of the costume looks like. Guys, well, this is the next part of the costume, somewhat finished. The fit isn't perfect. The boobs are a little larger, which is very unusual for me. Usually that's the problem, but I did extend the back a bit because I am very curvy. So, and I am a lot shorter, I think, than they created this pattern for. So I don't have the torso. So I, you know, curve in and out quite abruptly, I guess, compared to someone with, let's say, a larger, longer torso. So I've got embellishments that I've been doing on here, as you can see. I did have a little bit of trouble with the embellishments because it is quite challenging on such a three-dimensional space to get something quite symmetrical happening. In the aftermath of trying to do that, I did get a little bit of glue in a couple of spots, so there will be some more strategically placed beadwork happening on this thing, which there was going to be anyway. Like, I quite like it as it is so far, but I do want to really jazz it up a bit more. So I am going to do some more beadwork. I haven't worked out exactly what I'm doing yet, but I do have different like spikes, studs, and like they look sort of like dragon scales, and even just regular beadwork and stuff like that. So I'll try and, oh, so it's the lace at the bottom as well. So at the back, yeah, so it's been pulled in nice and tight here because of the boobs being a little bigger than they needed to be. As I think I showed you guys, I added extra flaps on the side because I was a bit concerned about my hip area, and rightly so, because at the bottom, the flap that's meant to, like the modesty panel, it's a little bit shy of where it needs to be. When it's tightened firstly, it sits okay, but then it does tend to shift, and there's about an inch. I'm looking a little blurry. What's happening there? It did shift a bit, and then there's up to an inch where the modesty panel's not covering at the base. Obviously at the top it's fine, but yeah, the base not so much. Yeah, so this is a little bit gapey, unfortunately, just the way it happened, and I could potentially try and pull it in a little, and I don't know, I haven't decided whether it's worth doing that because it's fairly stiff at this point. I don't know if I could possibly pull it in a tiny bit. So I may do that. I'm not sure. I'm not too concerned. This is like fully boned and everything. It is not going anywhere. I could just get a more padded bra, to be honest, which that might be the easier way to go about it, and just fill out the ladies. Yeah, so far very happy with it. I like that. I'm glad I did colour the lacework so that it's more the same tone as the top. I think that was worth doing, because before that it was like this sort of colour, maybe a little more golden than this. This is slightly more pale, but yeah, you can see how contrasted this is. Actually, let me get a different piece. So it was basically this colour, which is because this is a very similar lace finish, slightly different to this. Not a lot, a little bit different in colour. Yeah, so it was about this colour. This I might still use, say, up here or something. I have thought about, I'm not sure exactly how yet, but I do quite like this collar lace. So that could potentially end up here with some other detailing on it, and I could paint it the same colour, although I did hold a bit of coloured lace, like painted lace up here, to see whether I thought that would work out, and it really kind of blended in too much. So I think it might be worth keeping this part gold so that it stands out a bit more. Anyway, more to do, more beadwork here, more embellishment here, and I still haven't made the skirt yet, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming. Yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying watching how the costume comes together. Stay tuned for more videos on how I put this together and the other accessories and bits and pieces. Of course, I'll also be sharing the goblin ball with you, and that'll be coming up as well. So hit subscribe if you want to stay tuned for all of that. And otherwise, I'll see the rest of you next time in Faewood. Bye, guys.